In her 30s, Jessica Pan found herself jobless and friendless, sitting on a couch that had molded itself to the contours of her backside. She couldn't help but wonder what life might have looked like if she had been a little more open to new experiences and new people, a little more enthusiastic about going to the pub instead of going home after work. She knew she was a shintrovert, a shy introvert, and it seemed to have left her feeling sorry for herself and a little more lonely than she would have liked. So she made a vow to push herself to live the life of an extrovert for one whole year. She made a list, talking to strangers on the tube, going on a solo holiday, and doing stand up comedy. Sorry I'm late, I didn't want to come. An introvert's year of living dangerously is Jessica Pan's hilarious memoir about her year of misadventures in extroverting. Let's switch on the reading lamp. Hello, I'm Asaveri, and on this channel, I review books and talk about reading in general. Let's look at the details of today's book.
Facts and Figures.
Sorry I'm late, I didn't want to come is a non fiction book written by Jessica Pan. It was published in 2019 by Doubleday Publishers. 368 pages long, available in paperback, hardcover, Kindle, and audiobook formats. This is one book I recommend buying in its Kindle format, like I did, because it is almost one fourth in price compared to the paperback, and it's well formatted. The link to buy the book is in the first pinned comment and in the description below the video. Now for the contents of the book, but as you know, no spoilers, no worry. Just
The cover story.
if you remember, last week I read Framed by John Grisham and Jim McCloskey. If you missed that episode, there's a link up there right now and in the description below. You should check it out because it's a brilliant nonfiction book that is a must read, in my opinion. But it does leave you feeling heavy in the heart. Sorry I'm Late is the light-hearted, funny book that I needed to read as a follow-up, sort of a post-dinner mint to freshen up your palate. Jessica Pan was born in America to a Chinese father and Jewish American mother who were both complete extroverts. Her mother would smile and wave at random strangers and strike up conversations in supermarket queues. Her two older brothers were always inviting large groups of their friends over to their house. Jessica just didn't get it. She used to think that they were all simply pretending to like things that she hated. However, over a period of time, she realized that unlike her, they actually loved meeting big groups of new people and socializing for hours and throwing big parties. Of course, she also had dreams of a bigger life full of new experiences. So she left the small town she grew up in and traveled all over the world, living first in Beijing, then Australia, and eventually in London, where she lives now. But no matter where she went, one thing remained constant: her Shintroversion. She was the person who opened a book and put on headphones so she wouldn't have to talk to anyone on the tube. Then in 2012, she came across Susan Cain's book Quiet: The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. She says she was relieved to discover that there was nothing wrong with her. She decided that instead of beating herself up for the person she was not, she would celebrate the person that she was. But then, within the span of a year, it all went wrong. She became unemployed, and her closest friends moved away. Her career had stagnated. She was lonely. She had no idea what to do next. She had a lot of time on her hands to think about what she really wanted. She wanted a job, some new friends who she felt truly connected to, and to be more confident. So, what were those other people out there with jobs and close friends and rich, fulfilling lives doing that she wasn't? She realized that they were having new experiences, taking risks, making new connections. They were actually out there living in the world instead of staring out at it. By defining herself as an introvert, she had limited herself. She had accepted who she was, but she was also too scared to challenge her fears, to go out and have the experiences that she actually craved. She'd been using the introvert label as an excuse to hide from the world. The reality was that she felt that life was passing her by. Something had to change. She made a list. She would talk to new people, not small talk, but real genuine chats. She would give speeches, she would travel alone and make new friends on the road. She would say yes to social invitations. She would go along to parties and she would not be the first person to leave. Then, if she survived all of that, she would attempt the Everest of shy people. She would perform stand up comedy. Finally, she would throw a dinner party and invite some of the people she had met along the way. She would entertain, she would small talk, she would celebrate. She gave herself 1 year to do it all. Now I'll tell you why this book was the perfect pick me up after a heavy read.
Speaking my mind.
The three most important characteristics of this book are that it is witty, candid, and thought provoking. Jessica Pan is a freelance journalist, and it makes sense that it was her introversion that brought her to writing as a profession. Her writing style is subtly humorous. Her observations are spot on, and descriptions are vivid. The kind of things she says and the terms she invents are hilarious. For example, she calls herself a shintrovert, a socially awkward introvert, a shy introvert, shintrovert, which can also be used to mean a pervert who is very into lower legs. That is the definition she coins in the book. And later, she says she turned into a grintrovert, which is a gregarious introvert. Her funny is a smart funny that will have you chuckling throughout the book. The other admirable quality about her writing is the frankness with which she writes. She's funny and brutally honest with her descriptions of everything. Different chapters are dedicated to the different challenges she had set for herself. And she takes you through the whole journey of researching, prepping, and carrying out that particular challenge. She tells you what worked, what didn't work. She tells you what flopped completely. And she tells you what the experience taught her. She does not create rosy pictures of a 180-degree change in her personality or life or career. Instead, what you get is a believable and thoroughly enjoyable account of how someone made positive changes to their life by forcing themselves out of their comfort zone. That is where the book goes from simply entertaining to being a thought provoking entertainer. She has done a lot of research for this 1 year project. She talked to all kinds of experts, from psychiatrists to stand up comedians to Nigella Lawson, before embarking on this journey. Throughout the book, she passes on all those nuggets of information and advice that she gained from her interactions with those experts. I've been highlighting and taking notes down in my Kindle throughout the reading of this book. Jessica Pan has referenced a TED talk called The Power of Vulnerability by Brene Brown, who's a professor at the University of Houston. I looked for the talk, watched it, and it's wonderful. I would recommend that you watch it too. That link is also in the description, so you don't have to waste your time searching for it. This is an energetic book. It is about being proactive. It's about a woman who took things into her own hands and went far out of her way to get her life out of a rut. It's also about the importance and the evolving nature of friendships. It's also about second chances. Remember, I always say this, that I love books which make me think and which make me take action in some way. This book takes the cake in that regard. And the fact that it makes you laugh along the way is the cherry on top of that cake. Here's a quote from the book that is an example of the light-hearted way in which Jessica Pan conveys meaningful insights.
Quote unquote.
The self care trend has extroverts pursuing introvert activities to help them reflect and relax. So, why shouldn't we introverts do the same? Why, when we need to be loud and social and outgoing, we can steal their traits. We don't even have to be bitten by a radioactive extrovert to gain their powers. Now, for today's Linescape rating.
LINEDSCAPE Rating.
Up there is a link to the video that explains my Linescape book rating system. Today, all other parameters are rated 8 or 9, while impact, novelty, engagement, and enjoyment are all rated 10. The overall score is 92 over 100, which makes it a 5-star book. Now it's time to put my thoughts.
In a nutshell,
Jessica Pan's hilariously and aptly titled Sorry I'm Late, I Didn't Want to Come is a massively entertaining memoir of an introvert's year of living dangerously, as she puts it. It's full of candid confessions, useful information, and thought provoking insights. It's also a good book to get you out of a reading slump and back on the book reading wagon. If you liked the episode, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon and share with your friends and family. The more, the merrier. Visit the Reading Lamp every Friday for a fresh review. This is Savary signing off for now. Have fun under the reading lamp. Switch on, read on.